Hello and welcome to today's video. Today is the 3rd of April 2022 and I am in the main square in Kraków, Poland. And I'm sure you don't really want to look at me, you'd rather look at the main square. So let's just turn the camera around. And that's a much better thing to look at. And this gives you an idea of the main square. So isn't that nice? Isn't that that's super attractive. This is a wonderful place to visit, a Central European city full of history. And this, however, is a time when I'm making history, or I'm not making history, but the world is making history, so to speak. And so what I wanted to do is to film it as something to look back on in future years. This today is sort of a normal April day, so it's there's tourists out, people visiting. You've got the things being sold at your postcards and what have you. You've got people seeing this church and the statue of Adam Mickiewicz, and you've got Sukienica, I don't know how to say that in English, and this building here in the main square. You got these wonderful cafes and restaurants all around which are open, but at the same time, because of the war in Ukraine, it's sort of everywhere you look. There's people who, it looks a bit like there's paramilitaries all over the place. Of course there isn't now when I start trying to film to them, but you have to take my word on that one. And it sort of reminded me, I thought I've read so much about Spanish Civil War, so places on the Spanish border in 1937, where you get these volunteers going from all over Europe to Spain to fight on the government side against the Franco's fascists who are trying to overthrow the government of that country. That's one thing. And the second thing it reminds me of, although I wasn't around in 1937, I need to point out, in France, but in 1995 I was, and I remember I travelled through Yugoslavia, and there was one place above all which I can remember. It was a place called Subotica. I think that's how it's pronounced. And I saw the people who were on leave. So we went out to a cafe, we had a walk around the town, and you saw all these soldiers, these paramilitary types. Some of them looked quite, I suppose, the sort of age I am now. And they were out in their half uniform. I would say half uniform, not full uniform, so they might have had the smock on and the trousers, but they have trainers on or something like that, which always looks a bit odd. Oh, there's the church off. And that's all we're getting. And yeah, I can even take the thing out of it. I'll make it a bit wider. There you go. That looks even better, doesn't it? And anyway, so it does have this feeling. This is the place where people come to who want to volunteer to go to Ukraine. And this is the cheap flights come here, and then they've got to try and work out how to proceed further. And proceeding further is a major problem for anybody wanting to do so. The Ukrainian authorities are clearly completely confused themselves as how to do it. They're making somewhat impossible demands now, saying people can volunteer to go to Ukraine if they've got 2 years combat experience, not experience, not military experience, but combat experience, which so who's going to have 2 years combat experience? I mean, let's face it, most people who went off to Afghanistan or Iraq never actually even heard a shot going off. So finding that type of experience is going to be somewhat difficult. And others are just tell people, yes, come, we need you. So and people sort of things I've done on the ones wanting to go off to Ukraine, it's all very confusing who should go and where to. And not only that, it's not clear where people are supposed to report to. I read out a contract 1 month ago now for people who wanted to go there, and then a week ago I said, no, this isn't the contract. But once more, that contract, the same one, was presented to me via the Ukrainian consulate here in Kraków. So anyway, so this gives an idea of these times that we're living in. And as things stand at the moment, we have seen Russian withdrawals and leaving behind the evidence of crimes committed, including murder of civilians. It's quite horrendous. There are those who are claiming this is a Ukrainian victory, but all I can do is point you to other things. In 1939, the Finns threw back the Soviets, the same Kremlin based imperialists, and what happened? They in the end lost. I can also refer you to other things. The following year, the Greeks threw back the Italians, captured a large slice of Italian then occupied Albania, but once more the Greeks were beaten. Or in this country, in Poland, in 1943, when the same Nazi mentality which Putin has, although maybe not, he's not such a racist as Hitler was, but they threw out the SS when they tried to occupy the Warsaw Ghetto on the 19th of April 1943, but in the end they were beaten. So these are things which are going through my mind all the time, that this is just a temporary lull and they're going to come back even stronger and they're going to concentrate in one place. I think that the objective of capturing places like Kiev and Kharkov was only to have a negotiating point at the peace conference to hand them back. I think what they're really interested in is in the south. Although, of course, if they got the whole country, that would have been nice. Now they realize they're probably not going to get the whole country. So I do want to put this in perspective at the moment. I don't even know when I'm going to actually upload this video, so things might have changed by then. But even if I'm totally wrong, I'm still going to upload it. So anyway, wonderful place to come to, and this is very much living history. So, and that's what I wanted to show you, this walk around this wonderful town square, city square as such, and also to experience a little bit of the life here, despite the cold. You know, there was snow here this morning, and yesterday -4, I think it is forecast for this evening. And you know, for us it's okay because we've got a warm place to stay, but for those refugees who are on the road further to the east of us, then it's not very pleasant for them. I'm glad to say, however, there are in fact fewer refugees now than there were. The numbers have slowed down, but still the numbers are really very, very high. They're only lower in comparison to what it was a couple of weeks or even a month ago. So anyway, so there you have it, some of my ideas from here in Kraków, Poland. So thanks for watching. I hope you found that of interest, and all the best from me here. So bye for now.